Hi, my name is Kaylin, and this is my first video. Welcome to my bedroom, and we're going to be going over 25 books that you should read in 2025. A lot of these are unreleased, so it'll be super exciting to kind of see how these turn out in the new year, but there are some that are already out right now and some that are a part of series. So I highly recommend checking out the series and reading them if you haven't yet. That way you can read the books when they come out this year. So let's get into it. Let's get into the 25 books you should read in 2025. These are in no particular order, but I did write them all down here in my notebook, and we will get into it. I've kind of categorized them by genre, so we'll start with fantasy because, of course, everyone loves fantasy. First book on this list is Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros because it would be a crime if it wasn't on here. Onyx Storm is releasing January 21st. I actually turned 21 on January 19th, so this is going to be my 21st birthday present to myself on the 21st, which is super exciting. If you haven't read the Fourth Wing series, I highly recommend reading it. It is really good. The beginning of Fourth Wing for me was kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie, that may be very controversial. However, please stick with it. It does get a lot better, and I know it gets annoying sometimes when Violet's like, I'm just so weak, but it gets better, trust. The second book on this list is The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Krista Broadbent. I've really been getting into Krista Broadbent books. I love the Crown of Nyxia series, but I've also started reading her other series, which I forget the name of this series, but I'm on the third book, which is also on this list, which is Mother of Death and Dawn. And I highly recommend checking her out. Her fantasy books are really good. I also love listening to them on audiobooks. So if you like audiobooks, I highly recommend this series for you. Another one that's on this list, which is already out as well, is One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. I have yet to pick this one up, which is actually really surprising because it is highly talked about. And I know everyone loves the series, but I have yet to read this one. So this is definitely one I want to read in the new year. The next one that's on this list is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is another one that I've heard a lot about. So I definitely want to pick this one up in 2025 as well. I might even finish it before the end of the new year. We'll see. Number 6 on here is Guild by Raven Kennedy. I know the Plated Prisoner series has been out for like 5 years. I think Guild came out in 2020, but recently when I was going to Barnes & Noble, I actually saw it a lot more. They're like kind of presenting it front and center. So I think it's becoming popular again, or more books have come out and people are picking it up. But I've heard that it's like not necessarily the best writing, but it's super fun, and one of those series that you can kind of just eat up. So I definitely want to pick this one up in the new year. Some more fantasy that I wrote down was Rebel Witch by Kristen Ciccarelli. This one's coming out in February. If you haven't read the first book, which is Heartless Hunter, it's the first book in the Crimson Moss series, I highly recommend reading that one. I read it this year and it was one of my favorite books of the year. I give it 4 stars. So I highly recommend reading Heartless Hunter and then Rebel Witch in February. Another one that is a part of the series is A Curse Carved in Bone by Daniel L. Jensen. I love Daniel L. Jensen books, but for me, A Fate Inked in Blood was way better than the Bridge Kingdom series. I just really liked the, adult book a little bit more. But yeah, I love that one, and the second one is coming out in May. So highly recommend reading A Fate Inked in Blood if you haven't yet, and then picking this one up when it comes out this year. Another one that is a part of the series that we all know and love is Sunrise on the Reaping by Suzanne Collins, which is coming out in March. I'm super excited for this one, and I'm also super excited for the movie. Getting Haymitch's story is long overdue. I just love the Hunger Games series. I think that the Hunger Games series is one of those series that is so well built that like Suzanne Collins could write only Hunger Games books for the rest of her life, and we would all eat it up. Truly. It's like you don't get that type of world building in a lot of books anymore. I think world building like Harry Potter, like Hunger Games, where people can write their own books, or you can continue writing books about different things in the same world, is just, it's so cool, and there's such a huge fandom around both of those series, and other series similar to it, that I think like it's really cool when you get that type of series out of an author. So I'm really excited for that one. The next one I'm excited for is Watch Me by Tahereh Mafi. I don't know if you've read this Shatter Me series. If you haven't, definitely pick it up. It is a YA series, but I think Watch Me might be an adult book. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I know it is Enemies to Lovers, which I love. So I'm excited to pick this one up by Tahereh Mafi. Then we're going to switch back to romance. So in my romance section of books I want to read this year, I have Deep End by Ali Hazelwood listed here first. This one comes out in February. I love Ali Hazelwood. Her books are something I could read literally like all the time. I love Ali Hazelwood books. But this one is two swimmers, and I think they're both training for the Olympics, which is super duper exciting. It's like forced proximity. I don't know what happens in it, but I'm excited for that one. Next one I have listed is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. My fellow Michigander, I love Emily Henry. I will read literally every single thing she publishes because she is one of my favorite authors of all time, especially because a lot of her stuff has similarities with my life, which I truly like. Beach Read, they meet at Michigan. I go to Michigan, and funny story, it takes place in Traverse City, which I spend my summers there, so super cool. I just love Emily Henry, and I'm excited for this one. This one comes out in April, so keep an eye out for it. Next one I have on this list is If the Ring Fits by Camila Eiley. This one comes out in January. This is probably going to be the first book I read after Onyx Storm, because I'm probably going to have a hangover from Onyx Storm. But If the Ring Fits is like a fake marriage, billionaire romance vibe, which I always eat up. They're always really fun, so I'm excited for that one. The next one is a part of a series, the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. It's Rewind It Back. It's the 5th one in the series. I love this series. It is one of my favorites. The Right Move is one of my favorite books. I just love the acts of service love, and Liz Tomford's writing is really good, so I'm excited for that one. The next one is another book by one of my favorite authors, Elsie Silver. I absolutely adore her. But Wild Side, which is part of the Rose Hill series, is book 3. It's coming out in March, and I believe this one is also a marriage one, but it's kind of a forced marriage. I think she's like trying to save her nephew from going into the system, and she hates Reese, and they have to get married. So I'm excited about that one. And then similar to like the ranch vibes that Elsie Silver always has, like small town, that kind of thing. The next one on this list is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. I loved both of the books in the Rebel Blue Ranch series by Lila Sage, so I'm excited for the third one. This one comes out in April, so super excited for that. The next one on this list is A Hockey Romance, which I read the series on Kindle Unlimited, but the 4th one comes out here soon. It's Gloves Off by Stephanie Archer. Comes out in June. But the Vancouver Storm series was really good, and I think it's really underrated, so if you haven't read it, check it out on Kindle or on your phone and read Gloves Off in June. I accidentally wrote these all in different order, so I need to jump down to the rest of my romance books. Okay, here's the next one. The next one is Ride With Me by Simone Soltani. This one comes out in May. I am obsessed with F1. I have recently become an F1 fan, and because of this, and because knowing I will never get to meet any of the drivers, or probably even go to a Grand Prix because they're so expensive, I started reading F1 romance books, and the first one I read was Cross the Line by Simone Soltani, and it was so good. It got me hooked on F1 romance books, and so I'm excited for this one to come out in May. The next one I have on this list is What Happens in Amsterdam by Rachel Lynn Solomon. I'm just excited for this book because I just love romance books, and it looks like a classic one I would love to read. Same thing with the next one, which is Bad Publicity by Bianca Gillam. This one, she's like his PR person for, I think he's an author, and they like have to go to Europe, and she hates his guts. What's not to love about that? The next one is by B.K. Borison, which I love. Their book's amazing, but it's called First Time Caller. I don't really know much about this one, but I saw B.K. Borison and I wrote it down. And then the last one in the romance section is Destructively Mine by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I loved the Addicted and Calloway Sisters series, so I'm super excited for this one. Krista and Becca Ritchie can do no wrong in my eyes. The last books I have on here are some out there books, but I do want to read them. First one is kind of a romance, but it's more fiction than romance. It's called The Wedding People by Alison Espach. So I'm excited to read that one if I am able to. The next one is First Lie Wins. I believe this is a mystery, but it sounded really, really good. It's by Ashley Elston. So excited for this one. And then lastly, this is one that I've been wanting to read for a long time. I've heard so many good things about this author. His name is Brandon Sanderson. You may know him. He's very famous. But I've heard a lot of really good things about the Stormlight Archive series, so I want to read The Way of Kings in the new year. His books are very intimidating to start or to look at because they're large. And also I want to love it because everyone loves him and he's an incredible author. And if I don't love him, I will feel left out. However, I just know his world building and everything is gonna burst my brain. So, a little nervy for that one. But those are 25 books that I'm anticipating and want to read in 2025. Long list. But if you have any more for me, please put them in the comments. And I will definitely be making more videos in the new year. I read so much and I would love to share what I'm reading with you. So yeah, if you like this, please give it a like and a comment and subscribe, and I will make more. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful new year and that your holidays were amazing. Bye!